Yo, 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 what's good, guys? This is Q America with another episode of Savantz podcast. This is EP3. Hope everybody's doing well today. I'm doing pretty well. It was a beautiful day out. My spirits are high. I feel good, so a little tired, but needless to say, I feel pretty well. I hope everybody else does as well. Um, I actually had a topic today that I wanted to run by everybody, and I feel like it's pretty important to talk to. And I have this theory about this certain topic. Um, but I know everybody, obviously, like now, especially in my generation with millennials and whatever generation, I don't even know if I'm a millennial, but just right around that area from like 17 to 30 years old or whatever it may be. I guess from where kids start dating now to maybe 30 years old. We live in this time of like constant connection, like almost obviously, like we know, like with the social media thing that we are always connected, but even with texting, we're always connected. And it's almost like we've developed a new language through texting. I tell people now that uh, we face-to-face interaction, like talking and speaking, is secondary communication, and primary communication is now like over the phone. And it's interesting because I feel like we've developed so many different types of languages over the phone. Like we can somehow interpret, we feel like we can interpret the meaning behind and text messages and things like that. But the truth is that a lot of things get misinterpreted over text message, and I don't think it is the best form of communication that there is. But that's just me personally. I understand how it's convenient, but I know like back in the day, text message was like, "You're here." Yeah. Okay. Cool. Good. Check in. You know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. And then it kind of became and rolled over, and we got like BBM, and we got iPhone Messenger, and people started to love that, and then they got attached to the whole concept of having a messenger through whatever uh, Apple, BlackBerry, and there's like a friends list and all this, all this other stuff, which is lit. That was dope back in the day. Like I loved it, especially when we had sidekicks too. It was cool when you had like friends list and stuff like that. Don't get me wrong, that was all dope stuff. But I'm just saying that like from where it derived from. Now we use text more as recreational and like conversational. Uh, and I think this goes into the whole idea of nowadays we date, and it's like we go through the whole talking stage, and then we go into it's dating stage, talking stage. I feel like it's honeymoon stage, and then it's like real life stage. And I don't know if everyone's built for that real life stage, but I guess you'll really test your relationship when you get to that point. Whenever you get to that point. But I've been noticing that we have this weird thing where we always need to be connected at all times to the person that we're talking to like ensure the trust within the relationship. So for example, you won't talk to your significant other. There's like a 5-6 hour gap in between you guys texting, and then it's almost like your mind starts going and you start thinking about all the possibilities. And I don't know I haven't figured out whether to correlate that whole feeling with maybe, obviously you're a little scared because like you're wondering and things like that. I don't know whether to correlate that with the fact that you love that person and you don't want anything to happen with them, or it's like codependence and it's an attachment type of thing. So you have that thing where it's like you wake up in the morning, you have to say good morning. Well, you don't have to say good morning, but you know that you know good and well that something was gonna seem off if someone doesn't say good morning. Or it's just created this whole thing with when we title something, there's like this whole set of subconscious guidelines that come with it. It's like the good mornings, it's the checking in throughout the day, it's the you probably have to see me on this day during the week. If you don't see me, then obviously there's that lingering feeling of why didn't you see me, and you think something's wrong. And this is almost like an extensive first episode because I didn't really hit on the unconditional love thing, but I've created this like theory in my head, but I brought it to life about like natural laws and like universal laws. And I say like natural laws are the laws that I feel like everybody goes by in society. So when you're in a relationship, it's almost like like natural laws, just regular relationships, and it's like you have this obligatory. Uh, I would say you have this obligatory connection to the person where it's a maintenance thing. It like just like how you would say that somebody's high maintenance, low maintenance, whatever it may be. You have this whole obligation to keep up in order to keep the relationship going. And this isn't talking about treating the person badly, like you just treat the person like, whatever you want to call it. But this is more or less, you are still two different people, and you guys do still do things differently. No one person is the same. So it's almost like, you have to still give half of yourself to that person as a sacrifice to make that person happy. And I realize that a lot of love these days is like obligation, and it's like you have to do things, you have to keep up with things in fear of losing that relationship. And I kind of correlated that with natural laws of love and like relationships. Like when you go by the wake up and say good morning, I have to check in, I should say baby or babe or something like that right now, because I feel like it will make my text to that person stronger, and give them a feeling that I'm still there. And it's almost like, if you love each other, I feel like you should know that they're gonna be there no matter what. If you feel like you have that connection and that strong of a connection to that person, personally, I feel like you should always know that that person is going to be there. Obviously, under certain circumstances that might change, but under normal circumstances, you know that person's gonna be there. Like when you're not talking to them, you gotta worry about what they're doing. Like everything is gonna be good because it's a trust thing. And I was actually just having a conversation with my homie about this. And I remember Kendrick Lamar putting in a song saying that I'd rather you trust me than to love me. And I didn't understand that back then, but now I could actually put together exactly what he means now. A lot of people, I think, are just in relationships with people they want to be in relationships with. Like they see something, like they want to see themselves with that person, but should they see themselves with that person? I think most people overlook the fact that they should be with like somebody that's their best friend. So meaning like, there's a lot of things like you and your best friend have gone through turbulence, or your relationship is battle tested. So that house doesn't sit on like a soddy or a soft base, but it sits on like cement. It's there. And I feel like a lot of people overlook the fact that they're supposed to be with their best friend instead of somebody that they think in their head is who they should be with or want to be with. And I think when I come in with the whole theory of the natural laws and universal laws, is natural laws to me is the maintenance of something. Like when you have to put in so much, like when you have to put in effort to keep that person out of fear, when you have to put in effort to upkeep that relationship. And that doesn't mean that you don't do nice things for the person when you don't feel like you have obligations, but this just means like you do things out of upkeep instead of free flow. Free flow, because we don't really control anything to begin with. So your mind isn't filled up with what ifs. It's almost like whatever happens, we fight today, we're gonna be good tomorrow, and so on and so forth. Like it's a knowing, And I think the universal law is the fact that it is the knowing. It's the knowing that you guys are tested, in that when you're around that person, you feel something deeper, that you can go through some stuff with them and they're still gonna be right there. Like it's like a friendship first, then it's a relationship. But I think people skip that whole friendship part and they just skip into the relationship, and that's not really how you build the foundation. Because think about it, like one day it's like when like obviously everybody wants some people look good their whole lives, but when you get old and you're not as active, you're not doing as much physical stuff anymore, and your physical features don't really matter, what's really going to be left is the real question. And when I ask myself that, I think I start to look at things differently when it comes to romance and like relationships, because you really gotta ask yourself, like, how much time do you feel like you could really spend with that person on a real note? If you had no money in your pocket and they had no money in their pocket, how good would your relationship be? Like, are you distracted? Do you have to put out money to entertain that person to keep them? Because all that stuff is, even though it's not said, if you feel it, all that stuff is, to me, natural laws of a relationship, because it's all upkeep. But universal is best friend, like full vulnerability, just being you. It's free flowing, no worrying. It's true. It's caring, but it's no worrying. It's not taking from yourself as much, and it's easier. So I just kind of, that was like an interesting thought I was having, that I just put together those two laws, like universal, natural, and which side do you feel like you stand on with your relationship, if you're in one, or feel like you're gonna get into one, past relationships, whatever it is. Ask yourself that, because if you're not in one, like, try to make sure the next one you ask yourself those questions. So yeah, man, so this was just another episode, some stuff that popped in my head, and I decided to vocalize it to all you guys. But thank you guys again for listening. I appreciate all you guys. Hope you guys have take care of yourselves, take care of your minds, and use this quarantine as your advantage, man, because there's a lot you could be doing right now. For real, this is a blessing, for real. Like, you could be saving, man, like, you could be creative, man, turn your room into your heaven, for real. Like, there's so much you could do. But like I said, man, you guys take it easy, and I'll see you guys again soon. Peace.